The US has threatened to take action against North Korea. That's after Pyongyang test-fired a new missile in violation of UN sanctions. The statement came from Washington's ambassador to the UN during a session of the Security Council. Caleb Maupin has the details.
Speaking to the 15-member body here in Manhattan at the United Nations headquarters in the Security Council chamber, U.S. Ambassador Nikki Haley spoke strongly not just against North Korea, but against any country that she felt supports them. Now, in her statements largely condemning the recent launch of a missile, she went as far as to threaten the use of military force, utilizing military options. Let's take a listen to what she said at the Security Council.
The United States is prepared to use the full range of our capabilities to defend ourselves and our allies. One of our capabilities lies with our considerable military forces. We will use them if we must.
Now, this statement from U.S. Ambassador Nikki Haley comes following a Twitter storm from Donald Trump and statements from other U.S. officials accusing China of having economic relations with the DPRK that are inappropriate or illegal. China has responded and said that all of their trade with North Korea is completely legal and compliant with international laws and treaties. Now, interestingly, at this point, the United States will soon submit a draft resolution to the UN Security Council, and U.S. leaders say that if this resolution is not passed, they will take action on their own. Now, the Russian envoy, he also spoke to the UN Security Council, and he said that sanctions are not the way out of the crisis. He went on to urge the UN Security Council to have more dialogue.
Sanctions cannot be a cure-all, and this has been demonstrated by history. So what we need here is to seek a political solution and be creative in our diplomacy. We've proposed, as I've said in my statement, to work collectively.
There has been a proposal from both Russia and China to de-escalate the situation on the peninsula, with not only North Korea ending its nuclear proliferation and its testing of missiles, but also the United States getting rid of this THAAD missile system in the south and ending their provocative military exercises with South Korea. So a lot of different proposals being made. The world is waiting to see this resolution that U.S. leaders spoke of.
Earlier, we spoke to London-based political analyst Adam Gary and Brian Becker from the US-based Anti-War Answer Coalition about the developing crisis.
North Korea launched a missile that wasn't intended to hurt anyone, and it did not hurt anyone. And what we saw at the United Nations today was the continuation of the spectacle in which the United States and her increasingly few allies are using that international body of peace as a kind of global apartheid to justify and rubber stamp wars and sanctions which amount to war. They're going to be watching today's proceedings. They're going to hate the United States even more than they already do. They'll see Russia and China as countries which don't necessarily always agree with them, countries which aren't allies to them, but countries which do not wish them and their people harm. They're countries that want to engage in peace. They're countries that could end up saving North Korea from American aggression, and they will smile upon that, surely.
They're not provoking the international community. That's the spin based on Washington's dominance in the international community at the United Nations. Just 3 weeks ago, the United States carried out a nuclear bomb dropping drill that simulated the nuclear destruction of North Korea. Nobody called that provocative. When North Korea sends off a missile test saying we're not going to be bullied, that's provocative. So, you know, the question, the narrative of North Korea's provocations and provocative activity in the face of the United States and South Korea carrying out the largest war exercises in the world, simulating the destruction, the invasion and destruction of North Korea, while that's never considered a provocation, that just doesn't ring true. That's a double standard, and we need to stop accepting the dominant narrative offered by Washington.